Beloved soul, can you sense the shift happening? The weight you've carried, the longing you've kept silent, the prayers you've whispered in the stillness of night, God has heard them all. This isn't just a message, it's your confirmation. Heaven has moved on your behalf. You've been waiting, pressing, believing, but doubt crept in at times. You wondered if God still remembered your heart's desires. But hear this today, He is not a liar. What He has promised you is coming to pass. The delay wasn't denial, it was preparation, alignment, divine timing. A new relationship is about to enter your life, one unlike any before. No more counterfeits, no more confusion, no more settling for less than God's best. This relationship will be ordained, anointed, and filled with purpose. God has been molding you, strengthening you, preparing you to receive it. You don't have to chase it or manipulate circumstances. What God is bringing will find you. It will fit seamlessly into His plan for your life. Delight yourself in the Lord, and He will give you the desires of your heart. You are stepping into a season where things will unfold effortlessly, where love will flow without striving, and where clarity will replace uncertainty. Perhaps you've been discouraged by past heartbreaks, but those experiences were never meant to break you. They were meant to shape you. God was pruning, not punishing. He was removing what was never meant to stay so He could make room for what is truly yours. You don't have to fear this next chapter. It won't be like the past. This love will bring peace, not anxiety, joy, not sorrow, and draw you closer to God, not further away. So prepare your heart, make room, and speak life over your future. Declare that God is aligning things for your good. Your divine relationship is near, and you will not be anxious or waver. Trust in His perfect timing as God is writing your love story. When it unfolds, you will see that it was worth every moment of waiting. Amen. But what if you still feel unsure or fear is holding you back? The Bible says, whether you turn to the right or to the left, your ears will hear a voice behind you saying, "This is the way, walk in it." God desires for you to walk in confidence, not confusion. If this relationship draws you closer to Him, inspires you to be better, serve more, and love deeper, then these are signs that God is at work. However, if it pulls you away from His purpose, creates anxiety, or leads you into compromise, then that too is an answer. Sometimes, the confirmation we seek isn't about finding perfection in another person, but about discovering God's perfect timing and purpose for our lives. Have you surrendered your desires fully to Him? Have you placed your love life in His hands, trusting that He knows the right person? When you release control and fully trust, you will begin to see that God's plan is always better than anything you could have imagined. It's easy to get caught up in impatience, wondering why things aren't moving faster, why the right person hasn't appeared, or why certain relationships aren't working out. Remember, God's delays are not His denials. Sometimes He protects us from relationships that aren't meant to last, preparing us for the right one by refining our hearts and teaching us to love Him first. This way we can love others well. God will bring the right person at the right time for you. God's timing has been a subject of contemplation throughout history. It's often said that God brings the right person into our lives at the right time, providing us with a meaningful and fulfilling relationship. The search for love and companionship is a fundamental aspect of human existence. We long for a connection that goes beyond the superficial, a bond built on trust, understanding, and shared values. However, in our pursuit of such a relationship, we often encounter disappointments, heartbreak, and moments of despair. It's during these challenging times that the concept of God's timing becomes especially relevant. Throughout various religious and spiritual traditions, there's a belief in a higher power or divine intervention that guides our lives. This belief suggests that God has a plan for each of us, and this plan includes bringing the right person into our lives when the time is right. It implies that there's a purpose and perfect timing for everything, including the formation of relationships. From a human perspective, waiting for the right person can be a daunting task. We may grow impatient, questioning why it's taking so long or why previous relationships didn't work out. However, from a spiritual standpoint, we can find solace in the understanding that there's greater wisdom at play. God's timing operates on a higher plane, encompassing our personal growth, life lessons, and the intricate tapestries of interconnected lives. It is not constrained by our desires or expectations. While we may perceive delays or setbacks as failures or signs of abandonment, They may be necessary steps in preparing us for the right person when we truly are ready. It is essential to recognize that God's timing does not mean sitting idly, waiting for someone to knock at our door. Instead, it calls for active participation in our personal growth and development. This involves cultivating qualities such as patience, self-love, and deepening our relationship with God or the divine. It involves working on ourselves, healing past wounds, and becoming the best versions of ourselves. As we embark on this journey of self-improvement and spiritual growth, we create an environment conducive to attracting the right person. We become magnets for love, radiating positive energy and authenticity. We learn to discern between superficial connections and those that hold the potential for a lifelong partnership. In doing so, we align ourselves with the divine plan and open ourselves to the possibilities of meeting the right person at the right time. It is worth noting that God's timing may not always align with our timelines or expectations. We may have envisioned finding love at a specific age or stage in life, but life often unfolds in unexpected ways. God's plan may involve challenges, detours, and even periods of solitude. These experiences foster resilience, wisdom, and a deeper understanding of ourselves. It's important to recognize that the concept of the right person doesn't imply a flawless individual who meets all our criteria and expectations. Instead, it refers to someone who complements our strengths and weaknesses, supports our growth, and with whom we can build a meaningful and fulfilling life. Trusting in God's timing requires faith and patience. It calls for a shift in perspective, recognizing that there's a divine plan unfolding in our lives by focusing on our personal growth and aligning ourselves with this higher purpose. We can find peace in the journey and remain open to the possibilities that await us. Remember, the right person will come into your life at the right time. And when they do, you'll realize that every moment of waiting was leading you to this beautiful union. Amen. As we continue this journey together, reflect on how far you've come. You've healed from things that once broke you, grown stronger in silence, cried prayers no one else heard, but heaven heard them. Heaven kept record of every tear, every hope, every moment you chose to trust, even when it hurt. That's what moved the hand of God. You didn't give up, even when it felt easier to quit. You stayed faithful. And that faith is now opening doors. Not just any doors, but divine ones tailored to you, to your calling, to your heart. God doesn't just answer prayers, He answers purpose. He doesn't just fill your empty places, He overflows them with glory. This is your shift, the moment everything begins to align. Suddenly, effortlessly, perfectly, because now you're ready not just for love, but for purposeful love. You've outgrown what once distracted you and learned to let go of what wasn't for you. That wasn't punishment, that was preparation. Now something better is coming, someone better, someone aligned. When they arrive, you'll sense it not just intellectually, but also spiritually. A sense of peace, clarity, and confirmation will fill your being. This love is divine, and you won't have to guess, force, or feel anxious about it. That's how you'll know. God is not the author of confusion. He is the giver of peace, the creator of perfect love, a love that reflects His heart, grows you, protects you, covers you, and encourages you. This is not a fantasy, it's the fruit of your faith. You've sown in tears, and now you're about to reap in joy. God is good like that. He redeems the time, restores what was lost, renews your heart, and brings beauty from ashes. You've waited long, but the wait wasn't wasted. It refined you, revealed you, and restored you. Now the time has come, not because you forced it, but because you're in alignment with God's plan. When God says it's time, nothing can stop it, not the past, the people who walked away, or the enemy. When God opens a door, no man can shut it. And this door, this is the one you've been praying for. You may not recognize it at first because it doesn't look like your old story, but that's the point. This is your new story, one filled with grace, favor, and written by the hand of God Himself. So walk in expectation, speak with confidence, and love without fear. Because what's coming is holy, lasting, and yours. You don't need to chase it, perform, or beg for it. This kind of love finds you because it was sent to you from above, handcrafted and approved by heaven. It meets you where you are, but it doesn't leave you there. It lifts you, leads you, and reminds you who you are in God. You'll know it's from Him when it honors your soul, calls you higher, and reflects the fruit of the Spirit. Not just passion, but peace, not just chemistry, but commitment, not just attraction, but alignment. It's not always loud, but it's always clear. Love sent by God is safe not because it's perfect, but because it's rooted in faith, truth, and purpose. This love was worth the wait because it doesn't rush you, respects your pace, honors your boundaries, and sees the depth of who you are, cherishing it because God made you fearfully and wonderfully. You are not hard to love, too much, forgotten, or chosen. You are seen, covered, and the person God is sending will know it and treat you accordingly. You won't have to prove your worth because they'll recognize it, speak life into you, pray with you, walk beside you, and together, you'll build something eternal that echoes God's love to the world. This is more than romance. It's a kingdom partnership, a spiritual bond, and a purpose-driven union that hell tries to stop, but heaven already approved. This is why the warfare was so intense, because the enemy saw the promise and tried to distract you with counterfeits, temporary fixes, and wounds disguised as affection. But you didn't settle, you waited, healed, and trusted. Now you're ready to receive, and this is where the shift happens, where things start to click, where your someday becomes now, where the weight lifts, where the silence breaks, and where what was hard becomes holy. The one God is sending will speak your soul's language, understand your silence, see your heart before your words, and carry the same fire for God that you do. This is not a halfway love. This is a love that surrenders, serves, and stays. This is the kind of love that teaches you more about God. Because God is love. And when He is the foundation, nothing can shake it. So breathe, rest, release control. You don't have to figure it out. You just have to stay aligned. Keep doing what God called you to do. Keep growing. Keep loving Him. Because in the midst of obedience, love will find you. And when it does, it won't feel like striving. It will feel like peace. Peace that passes all understanding. A stillness in your spirit. A confirmation in your heart that finally you are home. And when you're home in someone, you don't question your place. You don't battle for attention. You don't lose yourself. You become more of who you were always meant to be. That's what love from God does. It brings you back to yourself. The healed you. The bold you. The soft yet strong spirit inside you. So if it's not doing that, it's not from Him. Love doesn't confuse. It clarifies. It doesn't wound. It heals. It doesn't push you from God. It pulls you closer to Him. This love is different. This season is different. Because you are different, God has been changing you from the inside out. Every moment you surrendered. Every night you cried. Every yes you whispered in private. He saw it. He counted it. And He's honoring it. You're not late. You're not behind. You're right on time. In the flow of divine timing. Trust the pace. Trust the process. Trust the promises. Because what's coming, it's worth it. You didn't miss it. You didn't mess it up. You didn't wait for nothing. Every delay had a reason. Every heartbreak had a purpose. Every no was protection. You were being positioned, prepared, purified for something bigger than you imagined. God wasn't just building your faith. He was building your future. And now it's unfolding. Not all at once, but piece by piece. Softly, sacredly, you're beginning to see it. Feel it. The atmosphere is shifting. Doors are opening. The pressure is lifting. Because breakthrough is here. The wait wasn't punishment. It was preservation. God was hiding you, keeping you covered so you wouldn't settle. So you wouldn't attach to what wasn't equipped to love you. He was keeping you hidden until the right one could see you. Not just your beauty, but your soul. Not just your gifts, but your growth. And that moment, it's near. It's divine. And you'll know because it'll come with confirmation, not confusion. God's voice is never vague. He speaks in peace. And where there is peace, there is presence. And where there is presence, there is promise. You are not alone. Even now, angels are aligning what's yours. Heaven is working while you rest, while you worship, while you keep walking in faith. You don't have to strive. You don't have to fear. Just receive. The person God is preparing, they're praying too. They are healing too. There's learning how to love you well before they even know your name. Because God's love writes the best stories. Stories of redemption. Stories of restoration. Stories that glorify Him. And this love, it will glorify Him. It will shine light in dark places. It will minister through how you serve each other. Speak to each other. Forgive each other. Support each other. This love is not for show. It's for kingdom. It's not for validation. It's for mission. 2 hearts, 1 purpose, 1 spirit. And when you walk together, you'll walk in purpose. Not perfection, but purpose. Because you'll be rooted. Not in feelings, but in faith. Faith in the one who brought you together. Faith in the vision He gave you. Faith in the future He's building through you. It won't make sense to everyone. It's not meant to. It's meant to glorify God. That's why it's different. That's why it's sacred. That's why the timing was so important. Because a rushed love breaks. But refined love builds. What's coming isn't fragile. It's fortified. Because it's built on prayer, promises, and patience. You weren't waiting for a person. You were waiting for the right foundation so that God could build something that would last. And now that foundation is ready. The house is being built, love is being shaped, and soon you'll see it, live it, and walk hand in hand with someone who sees your soul, respects your journey, and loves you from the inside out. You'll look back and remember the nights you wondered, God, when, and you'll whisper, God, thank you, because it'll make sense. Every delay, every tear, every detour will lead to this. A love that feels like grace, a love that heals what you never said out loud, a love that worships with you, laughs with you, and prays with you. That's what's coming, not fantasy, not a fairy tale, but favor that found form in another soul, God's love in human touch. He's sending it, and it's going to change your life forever. Don't rush this moment. Let it sink in, feel it, and let the truth echo in your spirit. You're not waiting anymore, you're becoming. Every lesson, every quiet season, every lonely night has been building you, preparing you. You weren't just being withheld from love, you were being filled with it. So when it arrives, you won't be starving for affection, you'll be overflowing with it. You'll love from wholeness, not need, and you'll give without losing yourself. You'll choose not to chase because healed people love differently. And you are healing, becoming, and transforming. The version of you that once begged for attention is gone, and the version of you that accepted crumbs has grown. You are now someone who knows their worth, knows their God, and knows what alignment feels like. So you won't fall for the same distractions, confuse chemistry for calling, or mistake a temporary thrill for a lifetime partner. Because now you see differently, feel differently, and you don't need to be saved. You've already been rescued by grace. You're not seeking someone to mend your broken pieces. Instead, you're ready for someone to collaborate with you, to walk beside you, to provide a space for your spiritual essence, and to connect with the divine within you. Such a profound love is rare, yet it's genuine and on its way. It might not align with your preconceived notions or the timeline you've meticulously planned, but it will undoubtedly be superior. For God weaves more captivating narratives than we can ever create. He perceives the angles we overlook, the hearts we fail to notice, and the divine orchestrations that surpass our ability to plan if we tried. He is the author, the finisher, and the matchmaker. So entrust Him with your journey, let Him guide you, and allow Him to shape the story. While you patiently await this transformative experience, cultivate love and appreciation for your life. Live life to the fullest, laugh more, pray deeper, grow wider, and serve freely. Become the person you want to love, because what you're becoming is what they're praying for too. 2 lives growing in purpose and 2 hearts being purified. Until one day paths align, and your spirits recognize each other in a calm, not chaotic or sparkly, but peaceful way. You'll know it because God won't just confirm it with feelings, He'll confirm it with fruit. You'll see patience, kindness, gentleness, and joy. And when storms come, because they always will, you'll face them together, rooted in grace, anchored in faith, and bound by something stronger than just romance, a covenant. This love isn't a distraction. It's a destiny that pulls you forward, not back, and lights you up, not burns you out. When you walk in it, you'll feel more like you than ever before. Because real love, godly love, doesn't erase you. It reveals you and brings out your boldness. You're beautiful and blessed. That's what's ahead, what's coming. So keep your heart open, your spirit sensitive, and your mind clear. Because when God moves, He moves fast. What took years of waiting can shift in a moment of divine alignment, suddenly, swiftly, and supernaturally. That's the kind of God we serve, a God of suddenlies. So don't be surprised when it shows up quickly. It's not random, it's right on time. Because your time is now, this is your moment. Don't look back, don't shrink, and don't second guess what God is doing. This isn't too good to be true, it's too good to not be God. He's always been good, even in the waiting, even in the wilderness, even in the breaking. And now He's showing you what all that goodness was building. You've stepped into a season of revealed prayers. Answered promises restore hope and love that reflects heaven. This is your confirmation. God didn't forget, abandon, or overlook you. He was always planning this down to the detail, the smile, the moment, and the timing. You thought it was silence, but it was strategy. You thought it was delay, but it was design. Now it's unfolding right before your eyes. Your spirit knows and your heart feels it. There's peace now because it's time. God's hand is all over this next chapter, and you don't have to force a single page. Just turn them, live them, and walk with Him through everyone. Because this story is holy, and this love is sacred, so protect it, pray over it, speak life into it, and cover it in worship. Keep God at the center because without Him, it's just noise, but with Him, it's purpose, kingdom, and legacy. This love will raise generations, break cycles, and restore what was lost in your bloodline. You didn't just pray for a partner, you prayed for healing and wholeness, and God is giving you both. You won't have to hide anymore or pretend. The real you is safe here, in this love, in this covering, and in this promise fulfilled. For the first time, you'll feel free not because life is perfect, but because peace is present. Because you know deep in your soul this was Him, all along, working, shaping, building, and aligning you into a love that reflects His heart. So breathe it in, thank Him for it, honor it, steward it, and be ready for it. And if it's not here yet, just know that God has a plan. That's perfectly okay too. Now that you know, you're not waiting in vain, behind, or stuck. You're in preparation, position, and process. Remember, God finishes what He starts. So rest in that knowledge, rejoice in it, and run with it in your spirit. Speak this truth to yourself daily. My heart is ready, my soul is steady, my mind is clear, and my faith is active. I will not miss what God has for me. I will not fear divine timing. I will walk in grace, love without fear, and trust fully because the love God is bringing will be wholly home, and I will be ready. Let this declaration be your constant mantra, not just words spoken once, but a truth you live every day. Wake up with it in your mouth, go to sleep with it in your heart, write it down, say it aloud, and remind your spirit. God is not done with you, He is working while you wait. Even when you don't see it, He remains faithful, present, and writing the story, even in silence and stillness. He is not distant, He is detailed, divine, and involved in the deepest parts of your life. He is not just preparing the blessing, He is preparing you for it so you don't sabotage it or settle for less. You can carry it well because what God gives wants to be kept, not just tasted and lost. It's meant to be built with, grown with, and flourished in. That's why the timing, healing, and process matter. You are not behind. You are right where He needs you, even if it feels slow, others seem ahead, or your heart aches sometimes. You are in the center of His will, and His will is good, perfect, and kind. He is not withholding to hurt you. He is holding it back to bless you at the right time. Rushed blessings become burdens. Right time blessings bring a sense of peace, grace, and joy. They are what you are waiting for, not chaos, confusion, or uncertainty. God is not the author of confusion. He is the giver of peace, and peace will confirm you, not pressure, panic, or uncertainty. If something takes away your peace, let it go. If it stirs fear more than faith, it is not from Him. If it pushes you away from your purpose, walk away. Because what is meant for you will bring you closer to Him, your purpose, your calling, and your healed self. This love will not hurt the way the past ones did. It will not repeat your past, break you just to be real, or be different because it comes from a different place. It comes from the heart of a Father who knows you, sees your whole story, and still chooses to bless you. He is not ashamed of your past, not intimidated by your pain, but the God who heals, restores, and redeems. He will redeem the time you thought was wasted, the love you thought you lost, and the hope you buried deep. Because nothing is too hard for Him, not your loneliness, brokenness, or silence. He has been with you through it all, every heartbreak, every late night, every why God. He has listened, collected every tear, and now he is moving, shifting, aligning, and sending love that fits your healed heart. A love that understands your language, doesn't shame your scars, and sees your value even when you're quiet. You won't have to perform, explain every wound, or hide your sensitivity. You will be seen truly loved, holy, and honored daily. Because God is faithful and finishes what he starts, finishing stories with beauty, redemption, and surprise endings. And your ending will be good. So don't let the past lie to you or fear lead you astray. Don't let doubt build walls around your heart. Let hope rise again, faith stir in your chest, and your expectations come alive. Because God isn't just going to meet them, he's going to exceed them more than you prayed for, more than you dreamed of, more than you thought you deserved. His grace runs deeper than your guilt, and his love runs higher than your shame. You are not too broken to be loved, not too far gone to be pursued, not forgotten but chosen. Chosen for holy love, divine alignment, and a story that only God could write. When it unfolds, you won't have to question it. You'll feel the peace, see the fruit, and hear God's whisper. This is the one, and you'll remember these words, this moment, and know that it was always coming, always on its way, and now finally so are you. So walk in it, step into it, stay over it, and protect it because this is sacred. This is rare and holy things demand holy handling. So be wise, slow, intentional, and prayerful. When the time comes, don't run from it, push it away, or second-guess God. Simply say yes to the promise, healing, new beginnings, and the one sent from heaven. They're not here to complete you, you're already whole. They're here to walk beside you, reflect God's glory in partnership, love you with reverence, and remind you of what heaven on earth can feel like. And you'll do the same because you love from overflow now, from fullness, maturity, and gratitude. You'll build together, pray together, dream together, and worship together. When the world looks at you, they'll see God not because you're perfect, but because your love is pure. So get ready. Heaven has moved, the atmosphere is open, and your next chapter is written. Now it's time to step into it. Let go of fear, the timeline, and the past. This is new now and God. Say it again, my heart is ready, my soul is steady, my mind is clear, and my faith is active. I will not miss what God has for me or fear divine timing. I will walk in grace, love without fear, and trust fully because the love God is bringing will be wholly home, and I will be ready. Amen. Ready for what I prayed for, cried for, once thought I lost, and the love that doesn't need convincing. Ready for the one that feels like peace, not pressure, the one that sees me and stays, the one that hears me without judgment, and the one that holds my spirit like a sacred promise. This time will be different because I did the work, the hard work, and I've healed too much to return to what broke me. I've grown too much to shrink myself again. This time I walk in wholeness. I don't beg, chase, or settle. I allow, align, and attract what matches my healed soul. The silent work, the lonely work, heaven has witnessed every aspect of it. It remembers every silent tear, every whispered hope, every moment when I believed when it didn't make sense. And now heaven responds. The weight is lifting, the doors are opening, and the winds are shifting. Love is coming, and it's coming with purpose. No more guessing, no more striving, no more asking God, is this it? Because I'll know. Deep within my spirit, I'll know that this is the one I was prepared for, and they were prepared for me. A love that doesn't compete with my calling but completes it. A love that doesn't distract from God but draws me deeper into Him. This love is covered, anointed, and rooted. It's not based in fear or flesh, it's born in spirit. When spirit connects with spirit, heaven smiles. This is how He designed it. Two whole people, two surrendered hearts, two lives intersecting in divine timing, not by accident but by arrangement, by grace. And that's what this is, grace, undeserved but fully received. This love is a gift and I will treat it as such. No more self-sabotage, no more unworthiness, no more pushing good things away. Because I finally believe I am ready, worthy, capable, and loved. I don't fear the blessing anymore. I welcome it, welcome them, and welcome this new beginning with open hands, a soft heart, and an unshakable trust. God has never failed me, not once, even in the waiting or the wondering. He was always working, building, orchestrating, and refining. And now the time is full, the season is ripe, and the alignment is here. I won't shrink, apologize for being chosen, second-guess the promise, or run when love feels too good. Because I know it's God and I know God is good. So if it's good, if it's whole, if it feels like peace, I'll receive it. I won't overthink, delay, sabotage, or say no. I'll say yes to the call, the connection, the covenant, and what God is doing in me and through me. Because this love is not just for me. It's for purpose, for legacy, for impact, and for generations. This is generational healing. This is generational favor, the breaking of cycles, the end of patterns, and the beginning of something pure, stable, and God-breathed. I'm no longer afraid to be seen, loved, or loved back. Perfect love casts out fear, and this love is covered in perfect love, not perfect performance or flawless feelings, but pure love. Love that forgives, believes, stays, protects, and reflects the heart of God. And that's what I've been waiting for. That's what I'm eager for, and that's what I will steward with utmost care. Now that I understand, love is not merely a fleeting emotion or a fleeting hope. It is a profound responsibility, a sacred honor, and I will honor it with patience, presence, and prayer. I will not take it lightly, mishandle this blessing, or let the past dictate my present. This is a new chapter, a present moment, and it is God. So let me repeat it louder this time. My heart is ready, my soul is steadfast, my mind is clear, and my faith is active. I will not miss out on what God has for me, nor will I fear divine timing. I will walk in grace, love without fear, and trust fully in the love God is bringing. It will be holy, a home, and I will be prepared. Amen. And if it doesn't materialize tomorrow, I will still hold onto my faith. If it takes longer, I will still prepare, because delay does not imply denial. It signifies refinement, alignment, and God's customization of what is mine. When it arrives, it will be worth every second, every tear, every lonely night, and every moment of doubt that made me wonder if He heard. He hears, and He always answers, not always in the way I expect, but always in the way I need. So I will continue walking, waiting, and watching with joy, hope, and strength. This isn't about romance, it's about resurrection, resurrecting my belief, my desire, my courage, and my joy. Love is coming, and I will be ready, not desperate, not doubtful or anxious, but steady, secure, and rooted. Because I am not merely waiting for a person. I am walking with a purpose, becoming the version of myself capable of carrying this promise. Love is a blessing, but I am a blessing too. I bring light, wisdom, and peace, and anyone connected to me will flourish. I no longer come from a place of scarcity. I come from overflow, healing, and clarity. I used to wonder if I was too much, but now I know I am just enough for the right one. I used to question if love like this was real, but now I know it is possible. Because with God, all things are possible, even love that feels holy. Even peace that transcends comprehension and joy that doesn't require explanation. That's the kind of love I'm preparing for. The kind that feels like morning light, soft, safe, and certain. The kind that prays before speaking, protects when no one is watching, listens with its entire soul, and sees the divine in me, nurturing, growing, and guarding it. Because I'm not just a partner, I'm a purpose. And love that honors God will recognize that, serve that, and I will do the same. Because I'm not coming empty, I'm coming full of lessons, wisdom, and grace. I may not be perfect, but I am prepared. Prepared to love, lead, be soft and strong at the same time, to pour and be poured into, to pray over the one God sends, to cover them in kindness, to speak life, to build peace, and to bring joy into their life like fresh water. Because that's what love is, giving without fear, receiving without resistance, truth, and tenderness. It's choosing each other over and over, even when it's hard, especially when it's hard. I'm not waiting for a feeling, I'm preparing for a forever. A divine connection that doesn't just excite me but expands me, stretches my spirit, sharpens my mind, and aligns with my future. Not just someone to do life with, but someone to grow with, to worship with, to dream with, and to serve others with. That's kingdom love, that's what I'm aligned with, what I'm praying into, and what I'm calling in. I don't chase, I attract. Not through manipulation, but through alignment, surrender, and stillness. Because what's mine won't miss me, and what misses me was never truly mine. I release anything that doesn't align with my future, forgive those who couldn't love me right, and bless them. I move on and make space for the one who's already on their way, already praying, growing, listening to God, and preparing for me too. We'll meet in peace, not panic, in purpose, not pressure, and we'll recognize each other not from looks, but from light, presence, and that deep, still knowing that this is it. When we meet, we'll move slowly, wisely, and with prayer. Because this time we're not building from pain. We're building from peace, not fear, not trust, not fantasy, but faith. We'll protect each other's hearts, not play with them, and we'll speak life, not sarcasm. We'll use words to heal, not harm, and we'll love with intention, clarity, and reverence because love is sacred, and we are sacred. This connection will be sacred, a wish of God, a blessing of heaven, and witnessed by angels. Until then, I will keep living, loving myself, growing, and resting in the knowledge that I am enough, loved, seen, and chosen. The weight we carry isn't punishment, it's preparation, pruning, and making room. And the fruit of this season will last, nourishing me. And everyone connected to me. So I say thank you. Thank you, God, for every closed door, every person who couldn't stay, every protector, every delay that developed me, every quiet moment that refined me. Thank you for loving me so much. You didn't give me what I asked for, you gave me what I needed. You are a good father, a kind shepherd, leading me beside still waters, restoring my soul, anointing my head with oil. My cup runs over. Surely goodness and mercy follow me, not just sometimes, but all the days of my life, even the hard days, the waiting days, the lonely nights. You never leave, never forget, never abandon. So I won't abandon myself, my faith, or the dream you gave me. I will believe again, hope again, open my heart again, and stay ready, ready to love, ready to receive, ready to be chosen the way you always meant for me to be. No more begging, no more performing, no more settling. I walk in my worth now, and I won't lower it for comfort, shrink for acceptance, or doubt what you confirmed. Because you are not the author of confusion, you are the God of order, truth, and peace. In this next chapter, it will be covered in peace, order, favor, and in your presence. So I say it again, say it with me, say it for your future. My heart is ready, my soul is steady, my mind is clear, and my faith is active. I will not miss what God has for me. I will not fear divine timing. I will walk in grace. I will love without fear. And I will trust fully because the love God is bringing will be holy. It will be home and I will be ready. Amen.